Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Tactical Tuesday, and tactics is the name of the game tonight because tonight's topic is teaching kids situational awareness using games. All right, how's everybody doing out there? And let me switch hats to the one that's not doing artifacting because of the green screen. There we go. All righty. All right. Let's see who all's here and say hello. All right. First one in was Crew 1351, and they fired off the question, Mr. P, are you saying we're kids? And they got some of the emojis that are customized for the channel. And yes, they will always be my kids from Scouts. Next one in was Shady Hill Homestead, then Kaylin Strain, followed by Diana, and Little Lone Prepper's in here. Geeky Gardens is in here. Prepared For is in here. And yep, I think we're caught up. That covers everyone's making comments. There could be some other people just lurking. Lurking's fine. Just if you can, when you get a chance, hit the thumbs up and maybe say, checking in. Okay, let's see. That's okay. I think they're good with it, but I was on the phone with them before we during the countdown, and they're doing another game of BattleTech. There's a bunch of them over there, so yeah, they were supposed to start at 6, and some of them were still talking to me. So you ought to see how I butcher some of their names when I first met them. All righty, so situational awareness. And some of you are going to go, well, how can we teach kids if we don't know situational awareness? There are some, it's a very good question. There are several videos out. I've looked at several of them. The ones I like the best, of course, mine from previous, and of course, Steve at Corsair Trainers. If his are still up. Because that's some of the teaching that he does, and there are a couple others that are that were up. I haven't checked to see if they're up still from several years ago that FEMA had on kids safety, and situational awareness was part of that. So we're going to talk about several things, and if you don't know situational awareness yourself, these will help you get it, as well as hopefully tonight's is applicable to you. Plus, hang on, I gotta bring something up here and double check it. Gotta double check my my stuff here. Oh, it's not on this computer. I gotta go to that computer. So I got it over here. No, I haven't done that for the it's on the upcoming ones I got to do for prepping for beginners, and yeah, so I got to get a couple of those other ones out and up there for you guys. All righty, so I am Prepper for the Ages came in. Hey, all righty, so let's get over here and start discussing some things. Oh, yeah, I don't have to make them that big. There we go. All right. Now, my 2 grandkids came in while I was setting stuff up, and the youngest one goes, I want binoculars like that so I can see everything. I almost when I started teaching, but it would have gotten too long involved. I didn't have some games to do it with. Okay, Lens, my page did not refresh when the live started. Yeah, I know. YouTube's having problems all over the place. So I did tell him, well, it's a good thing to be wanting to see everything. You can see a lot of stuff just by looking around without binoculars. All right, so let's go down here. All right, got some stuff here. Easy way to start, and you can do it with kids, or you can do it with yourself, or you can do it with your spouse. And my hat's straight. It's a bugging. Got a little ADHD or whatever it is. It's like, gotta have it straight. Okay. You can do it going for a walk with your friends in the neighborhood. Around here, I mean, there's like 3 different groups that are walking around town, and sometimes I see them connect and they start walking together and they break apart. But they're walking around and they notice everything in town because some of these elderly ladies got nothing better to do than notice everything. So neighborhood walks. Well, what can you do during a neighborhood walk to help you gain situational awareness? Well, go back to the old I Spy game. I spy with my little eye something that's green. Around here, everything's green or brown. You get people that it has wheels. Oh, they start looking around for a green car, and it's a green scooter or something in someone's front yard or whatever. But you can play with I Spy with the kids or with each other, and then when you turn the corner of something, someone can pop off with what was on the last. What was the brightest colored house on the last street? Who had the tallest tree? What color was the house of the tallest tree? Was there a fire hydrant near it? And you start talking about cars and everything else. And what color was the house with the dog in the yard? What color was the dog? And you can you can just go on and on about everything that you can see. And each time you go on each block, things change up, and you take turns who's spying. And so, someone spies and everyone has to guess it. And it's not just that. Going out to eat or going shopping or going to the movie theater. You're out of the car, you enter the building. Where are we parked? What is the sign nearest our car? What colors, what was parked next to us? Was it a motorcycle? Was it a sedan? Was it a big pickup? Was it a crossover? And you just work on these things with people, and things will start, people start paying attention more because they know they're going to get asked, and they don't want to be embarrassed by not knowing. Hang on here. I drive around different routes on purpose to see what's going on. Yeah. And driving different routes, it may be several days or whatever to get back to that route. You kind of need to notice, all right, wait a minute, something's different about this route. Oh, yeah, that house over there, which had the weeds standing up 3 feet high in the yard, is now mowed and looking nice. Or there's some someone has a new fence for separating their front yard from their backyard. There's different things you can notice all the time. That guy has a monster truck in his driveway. One of the things, going back to going out to eat or whatever, the last one there, where are the doors and exits? Movie theaters, going shopping at a mall, mini mall, whatever, even going to Dollar Tree, where are the doors, exits besides the front doors? Where can you go to get out the back? Be aware of your surrounding and what's going on all the time, where you can go all the time. You go into a store and it's like, I froze. You go in the store and you look around at all the people. Why? Well, you actually want to judge them. And people, that's being judgmental. That's not socially correct. Screws being socially correct. Be alive. Look around to see if someone makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. just you look around and you may mention to somebody, yeah, the guy over there in the green heavy coat and with a hoodie on, it's summertime. Why is he dressed like that? Yeah, situational awareness of things going on. Hang on, I need to get something for my cough here. So you can apply these for anytime you go out, anytime you're driving around, walking around. Fun one. Who here goes to Sam's Club or Costco? Especially Costco. They love changing everything around at Costco. It seems like every 3-4 months they shift some of the stuff around. Not so much lately with certain things, but there are some things it's like, wait a minute, the bread and stuff used to be over here, now it's way over there. The that's what I'm looking for. Well, plasticware, glasses, paper plates, paper bowls, and stuff used to be over here. Now they're 3 aisles down. The chips used to be on this aisle. Now they're all down the side aisle, the side wall. Things get moved around. And you can play a game that way. Hang on a second. I hear a little boys making noise behind me. All right. And the reason why the stores do that to change things up is to make you go by habit. You're going to go one aisle, all of a sudden it's not there. Oh, I've never seen this stuff before. And it make you stop and look and maybe buy something extra. That's the whole idea of them changing things around. Is because if you have a pattern, you go in, like Sam's Club. I go in, I go to the first aisle I can go down. I go all the way down to where the clothes end and the aisle of books. I turn and I walk over to the refrigerated aisle. If I need a brick of Tillamook cheese, I grab it. I go into the walk-in cooler where the milk is at, grab 2 things of milk, come out, turn right, go on down past the meat counter, and see if there's any meats on 25% off, and check them out and see if I want to get any of them. And then there's certain aisles I just kind of go to, and then all of a sudden they move the clothing 2 aisles farther down, and they shifted they turned all the aisles in front that used to go right to left. They go front to back now, short aisles that have all the snacks on it. So now Tammy Harder here is lurking and listening. And that way they're trying to get you not really confused, but stopping and looking to say, okay, I haven't seen this before. Oh, I didn't think of that. I could use that as well. Mm-hmm. Different animal sounds, prints, poop. Yeah. And even in the city, animals are right. It's like, that's a raccoon, that's a squirrel. And they, because even in the cities, you got cats, squirrels, raccoons, possums sometimes. Yeah. Good idea. Getting kids to play the game. Well, sometimes you got to get them started on it. You're going to have whoever gets the most right answers gets a packet of fruit snacks, or gets a bowl of ice cream, or something they really like. So yeah, taking a list of things to make them and you look around at things. So if you're playing the game, you're going to be looking around too to find something that they need to find out too. Um, yeah, you should have heard the comments at work about that episode, because several of the people at work at Homeland Security were watching that show. Yeah, it's some of the stuff is common sense, to be aware of your surroundings. The biggest thing, what do you think? Everybody in side chat, what do you think is the biggest blinder for situational awareness? I don't know. I want to see what your answers are. So what is the biggest blinder, hindrance, thing that stops you from having situational awareness? Excuse me. I got to holler at the kids. They're making a lot of noise again. All right. Let's see. Yeah, phone. I saw the greatest little AI reel that someone had made, and they copied likenesses of famous people at portraying some of the people. And the guy was on his phone like this, walking along, and a lady was an older lady, not I mean a Gen X or Gen or baby boomer. I think it was baby boomer. Yeah, was walking, saw them walking, and just stopped and stood there in the middle, on the side, on their side of the sidewalk. And the person's walking right down the middle of the sidewalk, not paying any attention, and goes in and walks right into her so hard, when his phone hit her shoulder, it came back and smashed his nose. And yeah, and they made a big deal. Breaking news: a boomer did not move out of the way of a whatever. And they, that was on their phone, and her iced coffee got spilt, but blah 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 blah, and it was just hilarious. About and it shows him being wheeled away on a stretcher. Oh, she didn't move out of my way. Why didn't she move out of my way? Yeah. Anyway, so let's see what we got here. Yep. All right. Okay. Yeah, normalcy bias. Yeah, you just kind of closing things. Hang on a second, guys. Yeah, I had the wrong avatar up there, but they were trying to crawl underneath my green screen. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, I've seen, it doesn't have to be a phone for that. I've seen back in the day people reading a book or working on homework and don't realize they missed their stop. So yeah. Oh yeah, like license plate bingo, or a license plate for the states, or car. When we were little kids, my parents had this one that had all sorts of different type cars, like Studebaker, Oldsmobile, Jeep, all the some of the cars that are no longer made now. Rambler and all the others. And if you were driving along, if you saw one, if you saw it first, you called it out, you got to slide it over. And so you had a bingo. Yeah, grandpa duty. But yeah, it's there's you guys will probably think of a whole bunch more things to think about here. And that's I'm not going to give you all the answers. I'm going to make you use your own brains. Oh, that's mean. Gil's making us use our brains. And yeah, it's one of those things that you learn almost as much as though you are teaching and doing something like this, because you've got to be looking around too, and they got to be looking around. And sometimes you'll see one thing and they'll see something else, and they all of a sudden, wait a minute, that was back. It's like, take another look. Yeah, the thing too about spotting animals in pastures or fields or someplace unusual, or it's someplace usual that most people don't think about. Back in California, we would have squirrels up on the telephone wires on the power poles. They wouldn't go up and mess with the power poles. Too many of them died, and they learned. But it was it'd be funny seeing them along there, and then suddenly seeing a hawk or a turkey perched on the top of the telephone pole. Not too many turkeys. I've only saw 3 in the entire time we lived there since I bought the house in '87. But we've seen a number of hawks up on the top of the power poles, watching not the roadway, not the sidewalk, not the yards, the pastures on the other side of the road where the sheep were and the horses, watching for the rodents running around. You see them, all of a sudden the hawk, and gets a mouse or something. Let's see, we always do stuff. Just observational awareness. Even if it's not cool, even if they can't identify a situation as being bad or not, but they're just being aware of something. And if something just suddenly doesn't stand out to them, it's like, hey, what's going on with that over there? That is the important thing. Make them ask questions from what's going on out of the normal. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that a lot, where a kid stops, looks around, and just out of the corner of his eye sees a green coat or a red coat or something oh, that's mom. I'll just keep her inside. Just still walking around, following this person around, not realizing that's not their parent. All righty. Let's see. Yeah. Weather awareness too. When Danny and Oliver got home from school, because they come over here, they dropped their backpacks off and pulled out their homework packets and stuff. I don't have it here. It's still hanging on the door behind the green screen. The little bag I got from Fibercom had, it's the, this is what's happening. This is there. If you want, this is what's coming. This is the pricing and everything else. It's kind of like a welcome packet type thing, but, saying, hey, we're in town. This is what's going on. And first thing he goes, why do you have this on your door? that was hanging on a doorknob. Yeah. And the first two of the Home Alone movies, take a look at, I forget the kid's name now. Macaulay Culkin played him, at his thought process as he's looking at stuff, and sometimes he's talking, you hear him talking to himself about what is going on and stuff and what he's noticing. It was rather unique that he was situationally aware of certain things. And what's funny is in the second movie, he's way more situationally aware because he learned from the first movie. All right. Just trying to think here. I was hoping Mark was going to be up here asking a bunch of questions and stuff. One of the things, especially if you live in a big city and you're going around, you got to pay attention to the people, what the people are doing, how they're acting, whether they're quiet or loud. If there's a person off on the side muttering and arguing with themselves and nobody else is around, but they're visualizing someone in front and they're arguing with that person, that's the type of thing you need to teach kids. All right, don't go walking up to them asking if you can help them. That's the type of person you need to avoid. Yes, it's judgmental, and yes, it could save their life. One day at the right after the downpour started, yeah, it's one of those things that you need to be aware of what's going on around you, weather-wise, environmental-wise, people acting wise. Sometimes you can just look at a person. I know this is being judgmental, but I don't care because it's important. Because I would, after going through the police academy, working for the sheriff's department, working for Homeland Security, and and working for several private companies in between and stuff for security, especially at Chevron Texaco. You got part of the stuff was being judgmental. You're trained to be judgmental. Something's there out of the ordinary. A car pulls into the parking lot, speeding, and cutting across things and stuff like someone normally doesn't do. Is something that would set off alarms. Say, well, what's going on here? Yes, someone could say, "Oh, someone just late for work." Generally, employees that are late to work know better than to speed in the parking lot because we have everyone's license plate that work there, and we punch in the system. And if they're doing that, we are required to let their supervisor know, hey, this person was reckless driving in the parking lot, and they get talked to. It's honestly hard getting home. Yeah, exactly. So many strange characters and stuff, especially in certain type cities, and you get people like this wandering around. So, yeah. But yeah, there's if you pay attention to people, you learn to, over time to be able to judge them, especially if you see them all the time and you see them talking to other people, see them start talking to other people occasionally. And then, quote, I'm going to get some flack from this, some normal people they're talking to. And later on, next day or something, you see that normal person, and you go up, strike up a conversation. Hey, I saw you with the homeless person. Do you know what his story is? And sometimes, oh yeah, that's John. He's always around here. He's always looking for to help out, and with some of the stores and stuff, out in the back, crushing their boxes and something, anything to get a little money, but give value for getting the money. And he doesn't want handouts; he wants to earn his way, or something like that. You find out a backstory of some people like that. That is a bit of awareness, but that's where sometimes just sitting down somewhere as people are walking by and talking to them quietly, and you can pointing out some of the actions that aren't the that aren't the norm, and that way you can, if there's something that's acting totally not typical of everyone else, let them know, hey, if this person worries you, tap me, bug me, whatever, and wiggle for me to lean down to you so you can ask quietly and not alert anybody else as far as what is. And most importantly, don't point at the person. And that way they can, if there is something that sends the hair on the back of their necks going up, they know they can ask about it and not get in trouble. They're not going to get yelled at. And generally something like that, you want to give positive reinforcement for them asking. Whether it was right, wrong, or wrong in your eyes, they should always be able to ask. Yeah, you can always be assumed that even if you're just paying, you're just going along, not all the time, just going along, with sunglasses on, your eyes are moving, but nobody can see it, that you're not on somebody else's radar. I'm just reading all the ones, busy looking at everything else. Yeah, some people have gotten really weird. And my youngest son is now working security at a place down by Jack London Square. And it's like, he sits behind a desk, either out at the counter or in the back room monitoring all the cameras. And he goes, yeah, I don't want to be out there on patrol. And he's got enough seniority where he can say, no, I want to be back there, not out there. Because he's there practically all the time. He's, Mr. Reliable. All righty. Well, I think everybody here has got the idea of things you can do, games you can use for situational awareness. The idea of making up some bingo cards with stuff written on it. So I found this one here. It's a really good idea. Don't tell my grandkids. They'll go, oh, yay. I'm just trying to remember. There was a craft thing where you could write stuff out or put labels on it, and had a fold over plastic thing and another sheet on it, so that you could read what was under there, and then you could have it like a little stylus, and you could mark out things that you found, and then peel it off, and it's like wiping it clean. But the topics are still there, so the next time they can look for it and see who, find what topics and stuff. You can make something like that. All right, everyone. just give you an update what happened today here. Finally got hold of the project manager for Fibercom. He came by and he goes, nobody's in by here. No, neither here, no over there. And he was just like, so he got out packets of stuff. He went over with me what going on here. I had some questions to him, and he goes, okay, we can do this, this, and this. And he goes, yeah, it looks like they were going to try, because they came by and they put holes and they put boxes, access boxes where they, thought things were supposed to be going, where someone didn't stop to check with us where we wanted access points at. And so he goes, yeah, okay, we'll have to do this, that. And I asked him, how deep does your trencher go to put the fiber optic in? It's about 8 inches. I go, that ain't going to work. And he looked at me, goes, why? I pointed over to my tractor with the rotor tiller. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. To the rotor tiller tractor on it, I go, that thing goes down 12 inches. And this is the garden out there. It's got to go through. And he goes, oh. And I go, yeah, it's so we were talking and stuff. He were as in talking, he goes, yeah, we can only go on 8 inches. All right, when are you going to be doing the from the box to the house lane? And he goes, oh, we set up appointments for that. And we set up appointments on this, I think it's Wednesday. Next month. Yes, it's 16th. So next Wednesday, they're going to come and get my house all hooked up to the fiber optic. And we had to talk about stuff. And so we were planning on it. It was really cool. And then I said, all right, now we walked across the street. I said, why did they put this here? And he looked at it. Oh, someone made this point. He said, yeah, they're going to have to run it across the driveway at 8 inches deep, a rock driveway, 8 inches deep. Just the cars driving in and out are going to sever the fiber optic line. And yeah, so we were looking at several things. Yeah, they had a hole here, and you had a spot there to go to across the street. And he goes, yeah, that probably would have been better. So we spent about 20 minutes over there going around options and finally figured out the best way to get the fiber optic to my daughter and her family. Yeah, not so much around here, but yeah, it does in certain areas, especially after disasters like rainstorms, windstorms that are bad, hurricanes, type things. Yeah. Ooh, scavenger hunt with a twist. Excellent. And yeah, you could do the same thing with a twist of on the walk. They got to find a list of things and point them out. Yeah. Yeah, very good. All right, yeah, so that's what's happening with here. So hopefully the internet by the 17th, which is a Thursday. Hang on, let me look at this again. This may be a weird one. Okay, no, it's not. It's a regular Thursday. For the midnight ride, hopefully everything will be running a little bit better. All right. Okay, coming up here. Coming up is Thursday night, the midnight ride. Friday night is grow what you eat what you grow, including growing stuff for your pets and livestock. Saturday is after your loved ones are gone, what are your plans? Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound for Monday night fireside chat is canning pumpkin. And Tammy has a bunch of ideas for that. Next Tuesday is map your neighborhood and beyond. So taking situational awareness, but mapping the neighborhood behind and beyond for things that you need to know about and be aware of. Hang on a second. And be aware of for your, for your preps and anything else. All right. So remember, everyone, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps: water, food, medicine, clothing. And if you haven't started yet, plan your fall garden if you have a chance to have a fall garden. Otherwise, plan an indoor garden. All right? We'll see you around. Take care.